if there's no, let me just say this to the women really, really quick, because I keep hearing the men come to me and say, you put the stuff out there, but where are the women at? So let me just say this, because I am a part of the women who says, I'm not pointing the finger at you. What can be the change, and what can we do collectively together, or what can I do to make it better, right? And so I'm part of that. So let me just say this again to the women, is that without men, there is no nation. Without Black men, there is no family. Without Black men, there's no community. Without Black men, there's no children. I'm literally speaking directly to Black men. Obviously, that can go for without men, but I'm speaking directly to the Black community, because I see more of that being destroyed than anything else. So instead of us continuously saying Black men do this, Black men do that, men, blah, blah, instead of us pointing the finger, stand in the gap and say, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to fight for us. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to be a part of the change. I'm not going to be a part of the reason on why we keep being destroyed. I'm going to be a part of the reason why we rise above this. I'm not going to let the enemy win, because the problem is you're looking at the person and you're not looking at the spirit behind the person. If you read the Bible, you realize it is the spirit behind them. It is not the person. It is the spirit behind them. There's a weakness in them that the enemy is able to come in and infiltrate them. And instead of you seeing that, you see them. And now the person becomes the enemy, versus praying against the spirit behind them and saying, well, you grown and you should be able to do this, and why do I have to teach you that? You don't got to teach men nothing. All you got to do is pray for them. I pray. I'm speaking this message right now because I am a mother of Black sons, and I refuse my Black sons to live in an earth where they cannot have family and community and live on this earth. I don't want them to be talked about. I have Black sons. A lot of the women that talk about men have Black sons. So instead of you being a part of the reason on why the culture is continuously being infiltrated with negativity and evil and hatred and bitterness, instead of that, be a part of the change. Be a part of the reason why we are going to be better, and we're going to learn how to community together. So my call to action, I guess I'm going to put out really, really quick. My call to action to you is stand in the gap. Stand in the gap. Be a part of the change. Stand in the gap and pray for the men, and not just the man you want to be your husband. Pray for your children. Pray for your uncles. Pray for the men that comes to mind when God is speaking to you, because God gave us wisdom. Do you see more women in church than men, right? Why? Because God gave us wisdom. We know how God is working. They're weaker right now, some of them. And I'm not speaking negativity about fellas, so don't think that's what I'm saying right now. I'm just saying there's a strength and a power in a mother's voice. There's a strength and a power in a woman's voice. There's a strength and a power in speaking life into men that we can do, that we are not using our voices to speak life into you. We are using our voices to speak negativity, to speak anger, to speak all the problems that we have with you, and not some of the things that makes you a king, that makes you a son of God, that makes you powerful, that makes you anointed. We're not speaking those things into you. So women, my call to action to you is, instead of you pointing the finger at these men, that we stand in the gap and say, I will pray for you. I will pray for you. You know what? I'm really praying for you. Not in the sense of bitterness and anger. You need prayer. No, I'm standing in the gap for you. I'm making sure that you are going to be part of the ones that will continue to build this nation. You are going to have family. You're going to have legacy, and we're going to make sure that it's built, and we're going to do that shit together. So stand in the gap, ladies. Stand in the gap for the men. Stop pointing the finger at them. We're going to raise them up. We're going to speak life into them. We've done enough bitterness and anger. See if you try it another way. See if you try to speak life into them, how that turns out. See if you try to think of them and not all the bad things about, but try to pick out some positive attributes that they have. See if you speak to the kingdom in him, the king in him, instead of speaking to all the negativity and the stress and how hard it is for you. Try that instead of the other way, and see how that works. Because something tells me, and God and the Holy Spirit is saying to me, that if we speak life into them instead of all this negativity that the enemy keeps swirling around in us, that maybe our communities can be restored and rebuilt. But as long as we keep letting the enemy work into our families and break us apart, we are going to be continuously being a part of the brokenness, because it is our reason. We are also at fault on why we're broken, because we're speaking to the negativity instead of positivity. Ladies, this is for you. Fellas, if you're listening, hey, and maybe you might want to tell your woman this. Hey, can you listen to this message? Because this is something that I need. All right. Shalom, peace, prosperity. We are standing in the gap, ladies. We are praying. I'm on a prayer call right now. We are praying for our Black men, because we are the nation that needs to rise up. We are the children of God, and we will do what God called us to do. All right. I love you. Bye.